¿Qué tal, mi gente? Estamos activos. Bienvenido. We're now una comunidad of more than 15,200 suscriptores. So, muchísimas gracias to all y'all that have already subscribed. And if you haven't yet, we waiting on you. A lot of Spanish learners say that one of their biggest problems is that they don't know how to build sentences in Spanish. And honestly, I found that one of the biggest reasons is because people don't understand how to use que. When you start learning Spanish, one of the first things that you learn is that que means what. But once you started exploring the Spanish world, you probably quickly realized that que means a lot more than just what. So in esta lección, we're going to go over some of the key ways that you're going to see, hear, and use que in Spanish. Once you finish this lesson, try to pay more attention to when you see the word que and try to understand how it's being used. You may not just memorize all of these examples from watching this lesson just one time, but I'm hoping this will make it more clear for you. So here are 9 different ways that you'll use que in Spanish. Let's start with the easiest one. You can use que to ask questions. So in this case, que means what. So like, ¿qué es eso? What is that? Or, ¿qué quieres comer? What do you want to eat? So this one's pretty straightforward, but notice hay un acento sobre la e. There is an accent mark over the e to express surprise, emphasis, or exclamation. You can use que to say things like, qué gran película, what a great movie, or qué decepción, what a disappointment. But also, you know how in English we say, how nice, or how exciting? You can say this exact same thing in Spanish using que. Qué lindo, qué emocionante. In this case, que can mean how, but don't take that to mean that que means how, because como means how. That's why we say, ¿Cómo estás? How are you? Notice that todavía hay un acento sobre la e en todos estos ejemplos. This is the last ejemplo of que in this list that has un acento. So all of the next ones will not have an accent mark. Pay attention to that. To link ideas together. In English, we say things like, that is the house that I want. In Spanish, one of the most common ways que is used without an accent is to say that second that. That first that is different, and I teach that in that lesson. Esta es la casa que quiero para nosotros. This is the house that I want for us. La ciudad que más me gusta es Sosúa. The city that I like most is Sosúa. To make comparisons. When used in a comparison, que can also mean than. Corro más que tú. I run more than you. Ella es más alta que yo. She is taller than me. Also, if you're saying I prefer this to that or over that, que works for that too. Prefiero tacos que hamburguesas. I prefer tacos to burgers or over burgers. To create a phrase. Some verbs pair with que to make a phrase, like tener. Tener means to have or to possess, but tener que plus a verb means to have to do something, like to be obligated or to need to do something. Like, tengo que irme. I have to leave. Tienes que trabajar hoy. You have to work today. To refer to something or someone. Que versus lo que confuses everybody in the beginning, and we most likely will need to do a bigger lesson on just this, but here's just a brief explanation. Que means what when talking about something general or unspecified. So like, ¿qué es eso? We don't know what the thing is. So que is just what. Lo que is what when you're referring to something specific that either has already been referenced or that's being implied in the context. So you can either think of it as that which or it that. No entiendo lo que dices. I don't understand what you're saying. Or I don't understand it that you're saying. Lo que quiero es descansar. What I want is to rest. Or it that I want is to rest. Que can also mean who or whom when referring to somebody. Hoy vi a una chica con la que solía trabajar. I saw a girl today with whom I used to work. Here it's la que because it's referring back to the girl. So this is a more advanced construction that we'll get into in future lessons, but just know that what's happening here is this is being used as whom. To express hypothetical things and wishes. In some phrases, you'll hear que used kind of like may. Here's two examples. Que Dios te bendiga. May God bless you. Que tengas un buen día. May you have a good day. What's really happening here, though, is that the full phrase is being cut off. The full thing is espero que Dios te bendiga or espero que tengas un buen día. I hope that God may bless you, or I hope that you may have a good day. The espero is often just left unsaid. So when you see these kind of constructions, you can just think of que as may. May God bless you. May you have a good day. To express cause or consequence. There's really two ways that this one is done. With the first one, you can use que to mean so that. Canta un poco que te escuchen. Sing a little bit so that they may hear you. Salgo temprano que llegue a tiempo. I leave early so that I may arrive on time. The second way I personally like to think of as cuz. So just how we would say, I'm not going cuz it's cold. No voy que hace frío. And the last one we're going to go over is to give an order or a command. In this sense, que is used like let, but don't think of it as let because it don't mean let. Que empiecen los juegos. Let the games begin. Que lo dejes terminar. Let him finish. If you're a little further along on your Spanish journey, then you may have noticed that many of these examples use the subjunctive. We'll go over that in a future lesson, but I hope that esta lección has helped you better understand the meaning of que and the different ways that it's used. Start paying more attention to the ways that you see que being used and practice using it to help you build better and stronger sentences. Gracias por estar aquí. Hasta la próxima.